Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're coming to you with another Wednesday episode sponsored by our awesome sponsors, Gray Fox Games.
Woo.
Indeed.
It's episode 181.
All three of us are on.
Yeah, first time in a little while that all three
For
of us
the
are on a
year, I
Wednesday.
want to say.
Not quite, but I think close.
Feels like it.
It does feel like it.
Like I was saying, it's episode 181. It's a Wednesday. It's March now.
It is March now.
It's snowing.
It is.
Back to snowing in Denver. Unfortunately, not a lot of snow in the mountains, which doesn't bode well for my upcoming ski trip. But before we get into that kind of stuff, let's talk about what we've been playing. Board games on this board gaming podcast.
Board games.
So on Friday, we streamed a game here on the Twitch channel.
Yes,
which
we
is
did.
what we tend to do on Fridays, stream games on Twitch. And we were debating about what to play, and Zach surprised all of us by insisting that we play Agricola.
Definitely was not an insistence.
Zach casually mentioned, hey, maybe Agricola, to which I said, yes. That is the answer. And then we just messaged Jeff and said, hey, we're doing Agricola.
Yes.
So we did Agricola Farmers on the Moor Revised Edition.
Wasn't it of the Moor? I don't know.
Farmers of the Moor.
I don't know why I always say on the Moor.
I don't know either.
Because your farm is on the moor. I don't know. Makes sense.
Because you're in the moor.
The
so you're
farm
farming.
is on the Moor, but the farmers are of the Moor.
Did we come from the moor?
Yeah.
We come crawling out of the mire and the muck?
Yeah.
I mean, you build enough houses that sink into the swamp. You know, that fourth one.
That
fourth stood up.
That one stands the test of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did a 4-player game of that. Megan joined us, and we had some excellent advice from
Sid
in chat.
Yes. And some bad advice from Boyd in chat.
One particularly egregious Boyd moment, at which point I think he fell asleep.
Yes.
He went, all right.
My job's done.
My job is done.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Sid was great because of all the times we're like doing something, and then he's like,
You did that?
You can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, what did I do wrong? And then he
We'll explain it in detail.
expertly, and you're like, oh, okay, got it.
It's like he's played that game hundreds of times or something.
Yes.
Close to it.
I know you guys also appreciated having him there because he was like, oh, yeah, that's why this one card is really powerful in this. So that's why they banned it. And I'm like, haha, I have it.
And then
he just immediately is like, yeah, but you're not going to use it well, so it's okay.
And then you didn't.
He was right.
Yes, it was.
There were multiple times that I did turns and he was like, Adrian, I don't understand why you did that. Neither do I, Sid. Neither do I.
Yep.
I had some good house building occupations. I could build a house for 2 reed, 1 of whatever it was, and 1 wood.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a nice little trifecta going there.
Yeah.
That,
and then whenever I built a room, I got 4 food put out on the next 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Yep. I just had I just let the animals run amok in my house, and then I could do plow actions for free with those free actions, which was nice.
Lots of plowing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Megan was disappointed. So in the end, Zach ended up pulling out the victory. He beat me by 2
We had a million
points.
animals.
Yep. Had a shit ton of animals.
Yeah. Because basically the last round, there was a lot of stuff I needed to do, and I was somehow able to do everything that I needed to.
Which almost never happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, Megan was disappointed. She came in 3rd. And not particularly close third.
No, it was 54, 52, 45 for
Yeah.
her, I believe.
I think I had 39.
Yes, that seems right. 36, 39, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Which the rule book says 30 is a good score for a new player. Experienced players should try to get into the 40s.
Okay.
So Zach and I, clearly just Agricola masters.
Clearly.
Yes. Zach's first time playing Farmers of the Moor, and probably the first time playing Agricola in many years.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm great at games for the first time I play them, and then I am...
Done.
I'm
Well, don't worry. Once I find Farmers of the Moor, non-revised edition, I'll buy it, and then we can do a non-revised stream so that there's a good compare and contrast.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. You guys can do a two-player stream. It'll be great.
It's all you two. Because Farmers of the Moor took fucking forever.
It did take a while.
We're playing for over almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it was just a little over 3 hours. Which,
but they said
not including setup.
It did sound like Sid said it was better for 2 players, right?
Because it's not as long.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because the added length doesn't make it
that much longer.
It's a reasonable length for a 2-player game.
Yeah.
And I was curious, like when we started, about like there are there's 3 cards that are basically extra actions you can do as long as you haven't used all of your actions, all of your little worker pawns, and we were doing those a lot more than I was expecting. Like,
I mean, they're really good. Free actions in a worker placement game is
Exactly.
usually pretty powerful.
Yeah, so I can definitely see how that will increase the length of the game, and also so many spaces to choose from.
I don't know if we could fit Caverna on the stream. John in the chat wants us to stream Caverna.
If we could fit Farmers of the Moor, we could fit Caverna, because Farmers of the Moor took up a ton of space.
I mean, we didn't fit all of it on the camera.
But those cards we didn't need to.
They didn't need to be on the camera.
Yeah.
Whereas Caverna, I don't think there's a lot that could be like,
I feel like it was about the same width wise.
Yeah.
For all those card spaces.
We did also fit Feast for Odin.
Yes.
So
Yeah. If we can fit Feast for Odin and Farmers of the Moor, we can fit Caverna.
Yeah.
With Forgotten Folks.
Which I do actually want to try that expansion. So that is why I'm okay with that plan.
Yeah.
We can do Caverna sometime.
No. But I mean, it was nice to play that to help reinforce that I liked. I know I liked Feast for Odin better. And I feel like I would still like Caverna better because I'm still not a big fan of those cards.
Yeah.
I like the cards, and
But
I mean, that really which game you like really depends on how you feel about those cards. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think so. Like a lot of the people I know who prefer Agricola prefer it because it's a much tighter game. Caverna's you can do, and that was one of the problems Megan and I had with the Revised. Is Revised made it much more open. There were a lot more extra things like those fucking cards and shit that gave a lot more things.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that a Farmers of the Moor thing?
I don't think so.
You can do the extra actions in just the regular Revised edition?
Oh, no, because some of them, they are like the clear trees and clear peat.
Yeah. So the free actions aren't in regular Agricola. It's just the expansion that added that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But most people I know who prefer Agricola prefer it because it is a much tighter, meaner game, whereas Caverna, like, it's really hard to get in other people's way a lot in Caverna. It has little to do. Like, at least for me, I don't like Agricola more because of the cards. Now, I know a lot of people who like Caverna more don't like Agricola because of the cards. So there's like two camps.
Yeah.
So yeah, we played Agricola.
Yes.
And we'll do Caverna at some point.
Yes.
Beyond that, what'd you play, Zach?
So I wasn't at game night because I had a work function. So I think it was last Friday, some of us went to Strange to drink the Strangely Epic because they were tapping that. And so Paul brought one of his bullshit dexterity games called Goku-ku, but we keep wanting to just call it Goku-ku.
Dragon Ball themed.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And this is a game where it comes in a metal cylinder, and you open it up, and there are a bunch of like wooden, I think they're wooden eggs, and then a bunch of wooden sticks that are like, real thin skewer type sticks, and they have one of 4 colors on them on each of the ends. Some of them are the same colors, some of them are different colors. So it could be like a red and a yellow, or like 2 greens on it. Okay. And you have them around you play with the tin, with the container, and on your turn, you're basically drawing up to 3 of these wooden pieces. And if you ever pick up one that has the same color on the bottom and the top, you get to stop. But if you don't, so say you pick up one that's green on the top and it's red on the bottom, you then have to go pick up something that's red on top. And then you do that either until you have 3 that aren't.
I needed to go look at a picture of this because I remember Paul had gotten this. It looks a lot like the
pickup sticks.
Sticks.
Yeah.
Can I see it?
Yes.
You got it pulled up there?
Yeah. But
okay.
But you keep going until you either have picked up 3 sticks and they don't have matching colors, or you pick up a stick that has a matching color, and then you put these sticks back on top of the container, but vertically instead of like, how it was sort of horizontally in the beginning, or horizontally instead of vertically, whatever. But basically you're laying it down, and then you're going to, if you did find a stick that had matching colors, then you get to take one of your eggs. You start with like 5, and you put it in like the nest, because you're ostensibly building a nest out of these wooden pieces. And if the egg stays there, great. But if the egg ever falls on your turn or someone else's turn, then you have to take take whoever has the highest amount of eggs. You take one of their eggs. And you basically keep going around until somebody has run out of eggs. And then there's a wooden cuckoo that's off the side that you then have to place on the nest. And if it stays without knocking any eggs, then you win. But it's just, it's another bullshit dexterity kids game that we had a lot of fun with, that I am also, for whatever reason, really bad at. Like, first, we played 3 games at Strange, and everybody won one except for me. And I was always last in every game we played. And then I ended up playing it one more time on Sunday, and Wes ended up winning that one again, and I was also last again.
Damn.
And I think part of it is that I just want to play risky in this game, and that usually causes eggs to then fall in the container, and I have to take people's eggs.
So maybe don't play risky? Or
No.
maybe just not as risky?
No.
Like still play risky, but just like
No.
instead of going like 110,
You're
go
not
like
making
100?
it any sense. No.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
No. One of these days, the too risky style will work. The dividends of it shall pay off.
You know when that's going to be?
When?
The first time we play it together.
Yes, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm perfecting it by fucking up, and then it will mature into the beautiful cuckoo beast.
Paul got that as a gift for his birthday, which
Oh.
he hates his birthday, not the game.
Oh, I was
yes.
like, why does he hate his birthday? What?
That is not a special occasion to him.
Paul's a monster.
Paul is a monster.
Yeah. I sort of, yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know if he hates it. If he just
Right.
doesn't think it's a special occasion.
No, he's very adamant.
he hates it.
Do not celebrate people's birthdays. It's a useless date. Celebrate his contract getting renewed or something important, was his opinion.
Right. No, I can understand that.
So happy birthday, Paul.
Is his birthday today? Tell me his
Yeah.
birthday's today.
No.
That'd be great.
Yes.
So the other game I played was, for a while, Paul has been nagging at me to play, because we started playing a lot of the, because I bought all of the exit games, right?
Yes.
The escape rooms in a box.
Mm-hmm.
And we had played all of them, or I've played all of mine. I think he played most of those, except for the 2-parter that came out a while ago. And
It was first of the most recent series, I
yes,
think.
Actually most of the recent ones that have come out have all been very like beginner friendly, the 2 out of 5 difficulty. But this one was 4.5 out of 5, which was by far the most, like the highest rating they have had for difficulty and for one of these. And I just never could find time, usually because I was doing Lyft.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm suddenly don't have to do that anymore, I was like, hey Paul, we can finally do the exit game like you want. And so we got Wes and Kaiser on a Sunday, blocked off an afternoon because it's a 2-parter, so it's not going to take 60 to 90 minutes. It's going to be like 120 plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we got through it. It is indeed a 2-parter. There's one point at the middle where it's like, hey, you can, stop the timer, record your times, and then you can start another time at a different date if you want, or you can just keep going through, which is what we did. And it was definitely lived up to its. I don't think it's the most difficult one that I've done. I still want to say that was the Haunted Mansion. No, not Mansion. Forbidden Castle, I want to say. But that one felt like it was difficult in a way where like we just weren't understanding what they were trying to say. Like all of the things here, we ended up using a couple of hint cards, but they all made sense once we like really thought about it. And it continues to throw cool things at us. One sort of interesting thing was just how many, the strange objects that it comes with that you're like, I don't know how this came with like 10 different strange objects that you get throughout the game that it was like, what is this used for? What is this used for? And there were definitely a couple cool puzzles. There were 1 or 2 that were annoying, but definitely not the most annoying that I'd ever seen. But overall, I really liked it.
Did they use the box?
We had a box, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna answer that.
I'm never going to play it.
some people might.
I guess.
I want to.
Yeah.
I want to play all of the exits
Yes.
that I haven't played yet, which is most of them.
Yes.
So
You can probably skip a lot of the beginner ones. Like, and honestly, after playing this one, like, I'm sort of glad I played most of those, but I know they're releasing some more that are beginner. I might end up getting them if I want to teach somebody who's never played one of these before, one of them. But for like seasoned players, they just felt, I don't know, disappointing a little bit.
okay,
Like
the puzzles weren't as interesting.
yeah. I'll just go ahead and tell you, there was like, what was it? Not the haunted roller coaster, the other one, like House of Riddles or something. You can skip that one. That was definitely the worst one I've played so far.
Okay.
But I definitely enjoyed this one, and I think it's worth a shot if you want an exit game with more difficulty, and also the fact that it's two-parter leads you to getting a lot longer. You know, a meatier experience. So
Right on.
I think the last one I played was the one where we had too many players.
yeah, we were at 4 players with this one, which was right at the cusp of too many players, because there were a couple times where 1 or 2 of us were just sort of like sitting, just sort of waiting, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, we all felt engaged, but definitely never play them with more than that. And if you play any of the beginner ones, 2 is the best for those.
Right on.
Bien. Bien.
Bien?
Good.
Oh,
Good, yeah.
I don't know why my brain did not make that connection.
Yeah.
I am exhausted. Anything else that you played in the
Nope.
last 2 weeks since you skipped last?
No, I was Jeff. Everything I played, Jeff had played, so
Yeah.
uh,
Correct.
he was able to fulfill all the things. I guess the only thing I would touch on was that I wasn't that big a fan of the Who Goes There.
Yes. Because that was the game night thing.
Yes, well, yeah,
And your King's Dilemma opinions.
Oh, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I still want to play it. I definitely feel that pull of role play versus.
Because I was more on I want to do a little more role playing to
Yeah.
our factions and
Yes.
less on the economy of bidding and money
Yes,
portion.
and I can definitely feel that, but it's always hard. I mean, I feel like it's going to be hard to fight that urge.
Absolutely. Because that may or may be, we don't know if that's good or not.
Right.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. But it's because you get those secret goals. You're like, this is what I'm going for. And anytime anything pushes away from it, you're like, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
And then you'll sometimes lose sight of what the actual thing you're voting on is.
Yes.
So, but I think we can.
I had watched the Shut Up and Sit Down review of it. And they had a good group of like very conservative houses.
Yeah.
And in the video, they bring up anytime anything like art or entertainment is brought up, they just start chanting, ban it, ban it, ban it.
Yes, they did. Yeah. No, that
I was like, I want that to be our
Yeah.
group, but that's not going to happen.
No. That review made me want to be like, hey, let's try and play it on the anniversary.
I definitely want to play
Yeah.
it some more.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I do want to try Who Goes There one more time because I started feeling sick during it.
Yes.
Yeah, you got real sick the day after. That's
Oh
right.
no, it was
that
like
night.
that night.
Yeah.
Like literally, Wes dropped me off from my place. He turned the corner, and then I immediately turned to the bushes in this.
All right.
Yeah.
Regarding the role play versus like gameplay thing, I actually have to agree with Boyd here as much as it hurts. Don't play a game with role playing with a known hater of role playing.
I mean,
that being Paul.
We'll see how it comes out for Paul if he doesn't do the role playing.
Yeah.
I mean, we can always team up on him or something. Like, who knows what happens in this game?
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, I think it's that's at least he knows that he has that the conflict.
He's aware of it.
Yeah.
So, and I think all of us are aware of it now, so we can try to pivot to fix that at least somewhat.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that was one of the things that like started to really hurt Time Stories for me, is that I want it to be more of a role playing game than it is.
I like the story.
Yeah.
But the game behind it is thin.
Yeah.
And it's the same with King's Dilemma. The game is very thin.
Yeah.
It's a bid and move the trackers.
yeah. Well, and
That's
then
the
it's
game.
not even So, even with Time Stories, it's not even that it's like a role playing game as much as it's a storytelling game, which can be two very different things.
Right.
But the storytelling that's happened in King's Dilemma so far, it's very good.
Yes. No, the stories were real good. I really enjoyed it. I liked
Engaged.
Yes.
Nice.
Especially because of we're like, oh, we do this for, we decide to choose something for a reason, and then just the consequences of it of like, oh no, we didn't mean it to go
We
down
didn't think
like
of
that.
the consequences. I just wanted the thing to go the way I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Jeff? What'd you play this week?
I played a fuckload of things. I played Cabo Deluxe with you.
Yep.
I picked up the Cabo
I
Deluxe.
won.
I
You
picked
just
up.
did 2-player?
We started 2-player. We got like 3 rounds in, and then Paul showed up, and it was a turn where I think Jeff lost. Like I'd lost the first 2, so I was at like 20-ish points, and then Jeff lost the third one and got like 20 points, and so Paul was like, spot me 25 or whatever. So it put him like a couple points ahead of both of us, and then he jumped in and we switched to 3-player.
Gotcha.
So sorry, Jeff, continue.
Having 2 decks in that game is still pointless.
It is super pointless.
You don't have enough time to shuffle the other deck from the other player while the other player is dealing. And you had played something that uses 2 decks that has a more
Not teach you.
Teach you.
Oh, it was teach
I think
you?
it is
Okay.
teach you.
that has a more
I was trying to remember. Yeah, I think it's teach you.
a more involved dealing process where Cabo does not have that, and to get enough of a shuffle takes longer on that second deck than actually just starting.
Right.
So, but I do like the new card backs. The new card backs are mirrored instead of being one way on the old one, because you could game it a little bit. If someone swapped you a card that was upside down, you would now know, like, you would be able to hint yourself that was a card that was swapped to you or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you would have to make sure every player was always like reorientating their cards. But this one, they're both mirrored. One's blue, one's orange. The front art is still the same.
Well, now you can have like if someone wants to play Cabo, and then like someone else wants to play, another group wants to play Cabo.
2 different groups can play 4-player game of Cabo at the same time.
Yeah. So that's one way to sell it, is that the Cabo Deluxe lets you, it's 2 for the price of 1.
Yep.
Just give them a score sheet.
Yeah.
Well,
2 for the price of Deluxe.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll play with the new Deluxe set over the old one. Just mainly because the box is way better. It's I don't know, it's a box instead of being a card deck that is way too tight to keep the game.
Right.
well, that's good at least.
Yes.
Yeah, I like
Is it still the same art?
Yes, the art is still the same on the front.
Okay.
It's just the card backs that are different.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I also I liked them. I think the colors were good for the card backs. I get the idea behind the 2 decks. Like Jeff was saying, it doesn't make sense for this one.
Nope. They should have just released it in like, here's some new backs to the decks, I guess.
Right.
I guess the other selling point was like, you have a bigger score sheet now. Not that like that other score sheet was hard to use.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But it was fun. It was good playing again.
Cabo's still a good game.
Yep, I liked Cabo. It helped that I won.
Except when Paul
Paul kept doing real bad.
Paul drew both zeros in one round.
Oh my God, that was the worst. He had one one got like drawn face up, and it kind of moved around the table a bit. And then at one point, I got a spy, and I flipped the card I pulled the card next to it, and it was a 0. And Paul clearly knew it was a 0. Like at the end, he was like, "I loved when Adrian looked at the 0," and it was one of those things where he could never take it because the second he took that card and not the 0 that was face up, everybody would know that it was a 0.
In a 3-player game, I mean, someone else could take it,
Yeah,
but
true.
but only you would know.
Yeah. So
Or I could have taken the 0, and then you could have taken the face down 0, and we both could have fucked
that
up.
would have been great, but it
Yeah.
didn't happen that way.
No, it did
He
not.
still lost. So
I think he was first loser.
yeah.
Yeah. He ended the game.
Yes, because he was trying very hard to get exactly 6 on the last
Yeah,
hand,
he was
so he
at
could do the like go back to 50. We were
Yes.
playing with that, and he did not get. He got like
He got a 104
8 or something.
Yeah, he got an 8. Or
10.
10. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What else did you play?
We played a small game called Nemesis.
You sure it's not Nemesis?
I'm
Jeff?
sure it's not Nemesis. Nemesis.
Right, it's not Nemesis. It's Mimesis.
Yeah,
Yes.
Nemesis.
Paul brought Nemesis with him because he wanted to play it again. We were at the Denver Beer Co. Arvada
Yes.
location, which doesn't have the biggest tables, but it
No.
did end up fitting with some.
They're long. They're just kind of narrow because they're
Yeah.
like tree
they're-
trunks.
Yeah, there are various amounts of narrowness.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
very wobbly along or wavy along the sides.
So we had another 4-player game with How many did we play? 5? We played 5-player at
Yes.
the
Anniversary.
anniversary, and then we did a 4-player on this go round with one brand new player. But then it was Ryan, Paul, and me who had just played it. Let's say 3 days beforehand. So it all came back much quicker, and we didn't Paul wanted to do the advanced board, which
That seems like what a Paul's thing to say.
yeah, and I was like, no, let's just play the basic board. The advanced board just has the escape pod rooms in specific spots,
Gotcha.
and then makes it harder to go between the engines. You have to like go back out and then back into the middle one, or like go back out and then over to the top or bottom one. It went fine for a while. I mean, the aliens were moving from turn 1 this time.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
They were just tired in that first game.
They were just tuckered out.
They were also hibernating, and so they were waking up.
Yes. I got handed the same 2 personal objectives I had in the 5-player game: research the aliens or make sure the ship gets to Earth. No one took any of the semi co-op ones where they had to kill anyone.
Lame.
We were jokingly talking about setting a 2-hour timer before we were going to start the game, so I secretly set a 2-hour timer on my phone because we didn't want it to turn into a 5-hour game like we did on the anniversary.
Right.
Yes. So it went fine. There was a lot more fire in this scenario. We got some of the same event cards, like the generator room starting the
Countdown,
but it wasn't broken, so the event did nothing. It was only because the generator room was broken in our previous one. I played the scout, which we didn't have in the 5-player version.
That just helped you like move better, right?
You can move into rooms without causing any sound.
Ooh.
And you can search rooms that are at 0.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then they have some combat stuff. Like they have suppressive fire, which lets you move with another character to another room and not have to take the attack from the alien from leaving from the room.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It was interesting. Didn't get any of my quest things done. I had to go up to like the console control cockpit. That's what I'm thinking of.
That's the C word.
Yes. And someone had seen that we were like going to Mars. And one thing I never knew from our 5-player game is that you have to end at Earth or you all die.
Yes, that is correct.
And I had made my whole turn to be like, my objective's done. I don't care where we're going. And I wanted to jump into the hibernation pods. And I had it all planned out where I would go in, make a noise roll, which would most likely start an intruder to come in. But then with my second action, I had a fire extinguisher, which you just spray at the intruder and it makes them move out of your room.
Nice.
And so, and then the next round, I would just hop in because all the noise markers would be gone and I could just go into hibernation. But after you go into hibernation, you can't change the coordinates you're going to, and you can't do one other thing. I think it's like start the self-destruct or something like that.
Makes sense.
But they were like, oh, we're going to Mars. That means we lose. And I was like, oh. So I would have not done that entire turn. I would have used the fire extinguisher to put out fire, because the next event we drew, every room adjacent to where there was fire gets fire. We ran out of fire and the ship exploded.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you didn't even
Rough.
get to die on the way to Mars. You
Nope.
just burned up, blew up.
Yep. I ended up not going to hibernation after they told me that, because they had informed me that Earth was the only place we could survive.
Gotcha.
Because I assumed that if we ended up in the solar system, we would be fine. It was just certain people had to go to certain places, because you can go to Venus, deep space, Earth, or Mars.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought we had to make it back to the solar system, because whatever, Earth, Mars, they're all next to each other. We're in a spacefaring extra solar civilization. Who cares if we go to Mars or Venus? It's just a hop over to Earth.
Yeah, it's like saying you die because you end up at Zach's house instead of mine when you're trying to get to Westminster.
Yeah.
It's like, it's walking distance, man.
Yeah. And apparently it's cold outside and you freeze to death on the way.
Yep.
So our ship blew up, and it ended up being, I set the timer for 2:10. It went off 15 minutes before that happened. So we played a game in about 2.5 hours with 4 players.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
How was it more enjoyable that time, or
It was just as enjoyable.
okay,
Yeah.
a game you could still consider playing?
Yeah. I'm getting more of the like, okay, now that we have the mechanics down, there's no real story to it.
Yes.
That it's sort of like, I mean, I could be done with that a little earlier than some other games that are like that.
Right.
But there's still 2 other entire alien races that we haven't played against that there's a ton of minis for. One basically turns it into necromorphs, and then there's a third like gray alien species of some sort.
Okay.
And then there's the advanced board, and then some other like little. And well, there's a whole prologue or a post game that you can play. That's a
epilogue,
whole epilogue game that comes with like a little shuttle, and you take a new crew in and figure out what happened to the crew that you just played.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is some more to it, but it's not fighting Cthulhu or Azathoth.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
Just Blood Bowl.
Just Blood Bowl?
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll come back to that.
Yep.
For myself, aside from playing Cabo that we already talked about, I played Call to Adventure with Rachel, one of the women from my D&D group that I run.
She was on stream, right?
Yes, she was on stream with us. I
She
think
did
just
Gallerist.
Yeah, that was it, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Shion.
Yeah, which unfortunately the audio ended up being garbage, and so it's not going to be making it to... That was the one you said when you went to upload the audio
the
was real
Gallerist
bad.
audio.
I think it's the one we were recording mostly off of
A webcam.
the side webcam that was sitting directly adjacent to the computer.
Yeah.
We fixed it at some point in the stream, but it was like, midstream. And
Yes. At some point I was like, is that webcam on? And you were like, yeah, but it shouldn't be picking up sound. I was like, what if you unplug it? And you're like, okay. And then you unplugged it. And I was like, that sounds way better.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so Rachel, she's also been on the stream. But I was playing with her and her significant other, Ben, and so basically Call to Adventure is kind of like a story, like a D&D-esque story
Generation
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you start off with like, you make a couple just decisions for like these cards you want, and they all tend to be like a trait or like a story thing or something like that. And
it uses the 5 different like D&D stats.
Yep.
And then there's
Except weird runes.
weird runes for them, yeah. And then there's rows of cards. There's 3 rows of cards, and there's 3 sections on your board. And you're basically playing until you get 5 cards in each section, and they have different symbols on them that might relate either to stats or to, like, I don't know, regions or other aspects of the story. And then you'll have, like, your end game, your epilogue card or whatever.
Which is basically, this is your end game points card.
Yeah.
It's your this is your main like mechanism for scoring points. And then there's a little bit of set collection where like if you get multiple of the same things, you score some extra points there at the end. And basically on your turn, you choose one of the cards in whichever row is currently the active row, which changes as the game goes along. So like at the beginning, everybody's in that first row. And if you pick a card, it will tell you like you need 4 successes, and then it'll show like 2 stats. And so you look on your board for all of the times those stats appear, and then you get to throw that many ruins. And then there's 3 basic ruins that everybody gets to throw. And
Like crumbling buildings?
correct. You throw entire ruins
Okay.
all around. We've been over this before. I'm not going to rehash it. But anyway, you throw them, and if you get enough successes, you take the card and you put it in your stack, and it goes either at the top or at the bottom and adds now to your little tableau, potentially giving you more stats. Or more of a given stat.
And the runes aren't just like a yes or like a 1 or a 0. Some of them are like that. Some of them are like can give you 2 points in a certain thing, or they'll give you extra
like action cards
Yeah.
and things. And then action cards are light cards and dark cards, and depending on where your alignment falls, and some of the cards will make you move up and down in alignment.
Yeah, and you can even take bad runes. I forget what they're called, but to have a better chance of rolling, but then you have a chance of corrupting yourself by using them. So.
Yeah.
It's like the moon ones.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which I always played. We played wrong the couple times I played those. So
Yeah. And like the light side track, if you got as the higher up you get on that, the more points you get. The dark side track, like you want to go down a little bit to get the most points, but if you go too far, you get either no points or maybe even negative points.
And I think
And
if you
so
go all the way down, you can't go back up.
no, it's
No,
just,
you can go back up.
You
It's just
can't.
really hard.
You can't get those runes anymore.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
you can't do things that would decrease it.
Yeah.
And it's really rare to get to move up. Like it's easy to move down because you can do those risk things, but it's hard to move up. So it went well. I think I ended up getting second. I think Rachel won, barely, but
How many of those card things did you fail?
I failed none.
Okay.
Rachel failed a couple.
I also failed none in my game and also did not win.
Yeah. Which was a little annoying. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there was one time and there was little annoying things. Like I had a card that was like, you know, force somebody, when somebody like succeeds at a test, cancel that result and force them to choose again. And they were like, yeah, but that means that card still goes away. It was like, well, the whole reason I did that was because that card had symbols I wanted, and I wanted it to still be there on my turn. So that's fucking stupid. So there were some little things like that were frustrating. And in the grand tradition of apparently this fucking episode, it was another game where it wasn't enough of a storytelling game to make me want to play it for the story. And it wasn't enough of a game for me to want to play it for the game. And so it was fun, and I enjoyed playing it, but it's not one that I'm like, yeah, I want to play Call to Adventure again. It's like, that was neat.
Yeah.
I liked the ruins mechanic, like tossing those was cool, like tossing the bones, and and you total them up. Like, that was cool. Like, those were cooler than, you know, just generic D6s for a game like that. I also felt like you had a little bit better idea of what your chances were than with a D6.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel as like batshit random.
Well, and I did like when I played it that going at least partially bad, bad for the most point, like bad points and good points were still both points to an extent.
Right.
And I enjoyed it enough that I would probably play it every once in a while. But after playing it the once at Geekway, I was like, okay, I'm glad I played it, but I don't feel the need to own it.
Yeah.
And who knows what, I think there's 2 expansions for that now.
Yeah.
Or one out and one another one announced.
Yeah, and I don't know if they had any, I don't think they had any expansions going in it.
I'd only just seen it at Gen Con, which, you know, 5+ months ago.
Yeah. After that, I played a game of Root with Chris Evans and Rachel and Ben as well. We did the new map. We did the underground map again.
Okay.
That we had done on the stream.
The tunnels map.
The tunnels. I was again the underground duchy. Rachel was the otters. Chris
first otters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris Evans was the Irie, and I think Ben was maybe the cats.
Lizards.
Lizards, that's right. He wanted to be the lizards.
Because I was over there and I was like, no cats in the game. And no corvids.
Yeah.
That's an interesting combination. How'd that go?
It actually, it was very close. It was one of the closest games of Root I've ever played. There wasn't a point where it was like everybody stuck at 15 and the winner's at 30. It was like everybody got well over 20.
Was that Rachel's first game of it?
No, it was her second game.
Okay.
She had played as, I think, who had she played? Whoever she played, she did not like. It was one of the base factions, but she did not like them. She did like the otters a lot more.
Otters are a lot of fun. Okay.
Yeah. She liked the otters a lot more, had a lot of fun with that. Did really well as them. Ben did one of the best I've ever seen anybody do as the lizards. I thought he was going to win for a little bit. And Chris once again almost didn't turmoil at all as the birds. Finally, there was an entire turn where I was like, my entire turn I'm dedicating to making sure you will turmoil on your turn.
He had a lot of cards.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard. It was basically like, all right, I'm going, like, it was one of those times where I'd built up decently, so I was like, all right, I get like 6 guys here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to spend an action to tunnel, and then 4 of them are going to pop up. I'm going to spend an action to move, and the rest are going to go there. And then I've got like a bonus attack, and then I've got an attack or move that I will attack. So I'll attack twice, and that wipes out what little force you had there and your nest. And you have 2 build and a fox clearings, and that was your last fox clearing. So
yeah,
fuck you.
Yeah. No, it's definitely easy. It's easier to make them turmoil if that's your goal. It's that's what I love about them though, is just that balancing act of just like, can I make it one more turn without fucking up?
Yeah. I did my traditional bad move in games like this where like I got out to kind of an early lead, and then I was like, shit, everybody's gonna pile on me, and they started to pile on me, and I kind of was like, all right, I gotta bide my time and like be more strategic. It helped that after the stream, I way overextended in the stream as the underground duchy and got stomped hard. For this one, I focused more on like only having like 1 or 2 clearings that had like 1 or 2 spots, so that I could still get some buildings, but I had not as much area to defend.
Right.
And I think that kind of worked a little bit better for me, and I was able to withstand their pushback. And then that's when the lizards and the Irie started both looking like they were going to take the lead, and the focus shifted, and I was able to be like, nice. And I stayed right behind them until my last turn, where I did 2 crafts, and one of them was a 3-point and one of them was a 2-point, and then I'd previously crafted a card that was 1 more point when I craft. So I got 5, 6, 7 points and went 23 to 30 and won. It was like, yes. Pretty sure it might have been my first ever win at Root.
Do you remember to use the mole errata?
Yeah, because the mole erratas that you don't put any in the underground area, which I don't think makes a big difference. And 2, I think that like, it's a clarification. Like, reading the rules, I don't feel like that.
It lets you pop up anywhere you want without having to move someone in there or recruit first.
I guess. You got to burn a card before you really have any cards, which probably is going to keep you from getting an advisor, which would give you more action. I don't know. Maybe it's a big deal. I've never played that way. Yeah. I also think that people who were playing that way were pretty clearly playing wrong, and so it's more of a rules clarification. Like, hey, that doesn't count. But the way that I read the setup on the back of those, it's like, yeah, duh, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think they needed to make it for people that were like, yeah, it's adjacent because I have a hole here, so it's adjacent to there. So now I get 2 more.
Yeah, those people.
Yes, those people.
Yeah, still really, really like Root. Maybe even a little bit more now that I finally have won a game. But yeah, it was
a huge
good.
mistake.
Yeah, I'll never get a win again. People will be like, Adrian has won once now. He's capable of winning. We must punish him even more.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear more about how corvids work with cats, because the last 2 games I've played with been cats and corvids, and the cats have always been just being trounced by people being able to just appear wherever they want.
Because part of the thing for cats is you really need to find a point and make like a defensive perimeter.
Yes.
And the corvid ability to just be like, I'm in your perimeter.
Yep.
I'm in your base, fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Sucks.
And if you don't have like bonus actions, because you have to battle them to get them out, or they're just going to put a plot token there.
Yeah.
Is draining on the cat's action.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, so Root was real good. And then last night, Saturday night, I did another game of D&D, what may potentially be our last game for our group for a while. But my players assaulted Kragma hideout, and they like continue to do things that I don't expect, like just beeline straight through a castle, like without exploring any side rooms or anything. Like, you know, they get in the front door, torture one not even torture, like capture one goblin, and are like, hey, where's the king?
Light torture.
And psychological
Yeah.
torture. You know, they carved his buddy in half with a massive attack, and then we're like, hey, and if you don't want the same, you need to tell us where the king is. And he's like, he's in the back in the throne room. And they're like, all right, to the back, to the throne room.
You forgot to stab him and kill him first.
Yeah.
Whacked him over the head, left him.
No,
unconscious.
you just kill him.
He told you what you needed. He doesn't need to live anymore.
That's not how they are. Again, they continue to surprise me.
They haven't played Lamentations of the Flame Princess.
Clearly not. And then like, so there's been multiple times in the starter set where like, there's a hobgoblin, and like there's one in like the first area, and he's like one of the bigger bosses, like he's like the big boss of that area. And then there's another area where like they're a tough room where there's like 3 hobgoblins, and there was something else where they ran into a hobgoblin, and every time they've been like, fuck that, hobgoblins are too tough. And so in this one, sure enough, they come to like right before the throne room, and there's 2 hobgoblins. They're like, oh shit, we got to find a way to like get around these guys without fighting them. They'll kick our ass. And they don't succeed in fighting a way around them, and they end up going to fight. And the first 2 attacks killed both of the 2 hobgoblins in 1 hit each. And they were all like, wait, we've been scared of these guys for how long now? It's like, yeah, you never asked, but yeah, they're not that strong. They're hard to hit, but once you hit them, they go down easy.
I've seen Goblin Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus. So yeah, that was good. We're tentatively scheduled to play on Monday, but on Monday, let's see, that would be the 9th. However, the due date is Sunday the 8th.
Yeah, that's
so. Apparently, I learned, because I'm hanging out with a woman who's about to give birth, so I'm learning all kinds of neat facts about pregnancy. So, for instance, the due date is like your 50th percentile. Like 50% of babies will come before the due date, 50% will come after. So it's like, so there's a reasonable chance that we'll be fine the next Monday. But we'll see.
Be prepared.
Yeah. We all did like as we were leaving, we're like, all right, well, we hope to see you on Monday, but if we don't, congratulations. So, and then once she has the baby, who knows, like how she'll feel about playing D&D. She was like, on the one hand, like D&D feels like one of the like easier things to do at my house with a baby. That's not any of the other things I like to do with my life. But on the other hand, a baby.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's what I've been playing. So, on to some banter stuff.
Yes.
Anything exciting on you guys'?
I don't work for Lyft anymore.
Yeah, Zach's not a lifter anymore.
Yay. It would have been more exciting last week because I was still feeling it. But instead, for that, I was feeling completely nauseous. So
That was the Lyft leaving your system.
it was probably. That's that. I got a car.
You had to purge the lift. It's a nice car.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's a 2019 Santa Fe that I got a good deal on, and it's got fancy electronic shit in it that is nice. Like smart cruise control is
Oh
awesome.
my god, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Fucking adaptive cruise control is one of the best things that was ever created.
Yeah. Do you know what that is, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't seem nearly as excited about it, so I was
obviously
concerned.
you didn't know what it was. If you did,
Have you driven a car that has it?
Yes.
I'm skeptical.
yeah.
You're clearly not excited enough about
My
how
grandparents have another fancy Lexus that they don't let me drive.
awesome. Yeah. Megan, it's funny. Like, so Megan got her car totaled a little while back.
That
and
is funny.
That's not the funny part. I mean, in retrospect, considering she's fine.
Yeah.
Like, she had just paid it off, too. Like, she had to pay it off to buy the house. She paid it off, and then, like, 2 months later, somebody totaled her car. She got the new one, and like, it was funny. The first one, her, even when it was brand new, it didn't feel as fancy. It felt like a base model car.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it had a touch screen.
Was it
and
like
had
an older like I'm assuming they did a model refresh in between the two.
Yes.
Was that one like the older, like it was getting towards the tail end of the model?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. That's one of the reasons I ended up going with the 2019 was because of that from 18 to 19 was the refresh, and I saw all the stuff, the new stuff in the 19, and I was like, I want that.
Yeah. So Megan's first one was, I think, a 17, and the 20 is the refresh that she has now.
Yeah.
So there was a couple more after hers, but it felt like a base car. Like, it had a little bit of a touchscreen. I had a seat.
I remember.
It was okay. And then we got the new one, and it's like double touch screens, like fucking. There's hardly real buttons anywhere in the car. It's all digital touchscreen shit, and it's like it was still the base model. It was like, damn, this feels like almost like a luxury car.
Yeah.
Like, but it's the cheapest Subaru cheapest Outback you can get. And now we're just getting used to it. And it's like, oh yeah, this is just the car.
Yeah.
But
and
that was that story.
Yeah. And then you get into a car that doesn't have all that stuff, and you're like, what is this?
You mean like my 1998 4Runner that I drive every day?
Yeah.
The brakes are having issues.
At what point are you going to say fuck it?
Or
the front brakes are drum, the rear brakes are disc.
okay.
Yeah. When I went to get in the car to drive home from work tonight, in the midst of the snowstorm, both my e-brake light and my ABS light came on. And I was like, the e-brake is definitely off.
Yeah.
And I was like, and the brakes work. So I don't know what those lights mean, but hopefully I don't die. So I'm probably going to be driving the Sonata soon.
One of those
for a
is
little bit.
more expensive to fix than the other, and I can't remember which.
Luckily, I can and have changed both.
Okay.
So I'm fully capable of doing my brakes, but probably not, when it's snowing.
Yeah.
So I might be driving the Sonata for a bit until I figure out my brake issue.
Do you feel like you're going to say fuck it at some point and get something new? Or maybe not even new, but like...
Something in this millennium?
Yeah. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah.
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, I want a new car. And Megan and I talk a lot about
Different car, not new.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be new. New to you.
If I'm going to spend much more than a couple $1,000s, I'm just going to go whole hog and get something new.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, you can get it gently used, and that'll like.
I mean, that's what I did last time. Like when I got my Sonata, it had 800 miles on it. I got it from CarMax for like 10,000 cheaper than it would have been to get it brand new. So I could do something like that again. But no, I love my 4Runner as much as I give it a hard time, and it gives me a hard time back through mechanical issues. I absolutely love it. It's a bunch of fun to drive, and I really like it. And so I want to continue to restore that. The Sonata is just an emergency backup vehicle. Eventually, I would like to get maybe like a good daily driver. Like if, maybe we get a awesome new president in 2020 and maybe like some electrical car tax rebates will come back and things. And maybe it'll make an economical amount of sense for Megan and I to get like a Tesla or something. I'd love to have something like that for like a daily driver in the city. Have the Subaru be our light.
Those are fine outside, right? To eat for charging, like because you don't have a garage or anything like that. That's all. Yeah,
I have no idea. It's actually I have not looked in. I had not considered that. So I'll just go park it in Paul's garage.
Yes, right. That was
I
one
think
reason.
it already has its one Tesla limit.
Yeah, that was one reason why I didn't even consider looking at any of those because I was like, I know where I park. It's not go. There isn't anything electrical going.
I feel like there's got to be a way to do it.
I mean, I'm sure it's fine. I know it can lock in the back at least when you're doing like the turbochargers and stuff like that. But I wasn't sure if like your home one doesn't have that or something like.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have there's a car on the block behind me that has like an on-street electrical vehicle charging. But it's not a Tesla.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. And there's 2 chargers at my work. So worst case, as long as it can make it between my Sunday leaving work and my Thursday getting to work on one charge, I can just charge it at work during my 8 to 12 hour shifts.
Use work's electricity, not your own.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's another way to maximize your electrical rebates.
Yeah.
Or your electrical savings. Yeah. But so I'd like to get something like that, or maybe just get like a nice, very fuel efficient sedan. I mean, I want to get a motorcycle. Want to get a motorcycle too, but Megan says I can't get a motorcycle until I get down to one vehicle. So that's understandable. Yeah. But yeah, ideally I'd like to get like a good daily driver for both of us driving around Denver.
Yeah.
Have her Scooby be like our like light mountains and snow vehicle, then trick out the 4Runner a little bit. Actually get like a better suspension in it and fix up a couple of its issues because it runs great. The engine in that truck is amazing.
When it's not leaking coolant.
Or shotgunning it into your radiator?
That wasn't the engine. That was entirely the radiator and the transmission. The engine is great.
Our bad.
Sorry, it was just all those other critical components.
Yeah. And, actually, the one that was a known issue with those older 4Runners. And 2, apparently that usually trashes transmissions and they're dead within 1,000 miles. And 3,000 miles since then, and the transmission is still working great. So
you're saying you're extra long on your due date?
I'm saying I made it past. It usually dies by 1,000. If you make it past 2, you're in the clear, is what every message board I could find about it said. So
now you can be like, all right. So these 2 brake lights now have come on, and
but yeah, it needs a few $1,000s of work, but I'd like to put that money into it and then have it be like a legit off-road vehicle that we could take like to some of the back country camping spots we like to go to in the summer that even the Subaru can't quite have the ground clearance for. So that's my ideal plan. And now that we've talked about that for fucking, 20 minutes.
It has been 7.
It felt like longer.
Yeah.
and it was something I wanted to talk about. It still felt like longer than 7 minutes.
Imagine how we felt. No.
I don't doubt it. But yeah, vehicles.
Yep.
How's your vehicle going, Jeff?
Fine.
Have you
I put a new battery in it recently.
Okay. Are you gonna replace that window anytime soon, or
yes?
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you still haven't replaced the window?
No, because it's like $240.
Yeah.
For $500, I'll give you 5 new windows in the form of a car with 5 windows. 6. It's got a moonroof.
Pass. Otherwise, the car's running very fine.
Oh, that's good. No, what you can do is you can take.
Does it have valid tags and pass emissions?
No.
See, you guys just got to do this to me. Now it's my turn. Fortunately, Zach has a fucking new vehicle. We can't do it to him anymore.
I mean, mine doesn't have registration right now because
it does pass emissions, but it does not have a check engine light, which auto fails your emissions test.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Have you looked at what's causing the engine light?
Yes, and it is very expensive.
Wow.
What is it?
What is it?
New engine.
It's sensors that are like $1,200.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and $1,200 is not worth it. So
yeah,
you just keep paying $400 when you occasionally get.
I have not.
I thought you had gotten a registration ticket at one point.
Mm-hmm. I'll get some street sweeping tickets every once in a while, but that's it.
Until one day it's just gone. They just take it.
And you're like, all right, well,
Yeah.
You'll be more upset about the games in the car than.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's a good suggestion.
They do
No, I know.
electronically
they plug
test.
it in. They plug it in. I know.
Yeah.
Just tell them, nah, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
Nah, brah.
No, you can see the light. That's good.
Yeah.
Be like, well, that's weird. The light's not
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So clearly.
You want to test it, you better get a warrant.
But
otherwise, give me my emission.
I did take it for emissions check and then figured out what would turn the check engine light. It passed the emissions, but the check engine was.
Oh, okay.
And then I went and got that checked.
And then you're like,
then I was like,
that's
well, that car's never getting tags.
Criminal.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, before we move on to Bloody Minute, and is there Kingdom Death this?
No.
No. Okay. I didn't know if you guys had snuck one in.
We
on
played
me.
games for anniversary.
That's right.
Yeah.
Before we move on to Bloody Minute,
Yes.
next week it will be you two on Friday.
Yes.
Either doing a 2-player stream or maybe getting a guest or
Yeah.
something. And then it will also be just you two on Sunday for the regular stream because, and then I'm mentioning this now because I'm going to do it as part of banter. For those of you who haven't heard, I'm going to Silverton to go heli skiing.
Woo.
For my birthday, because it's my birthday next week. And I also wanted to mention that now during banter so I can address all you monsters who don't celebrate your birthday. Like,
I mean,
it's your day. The world is a cold, meaningless void of unhappiness.
uh-huh.
Have your one day to treat yourself.
It was a day I didn't have any part in.
It's as good as any other like it's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's an arbitrary day.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
all
for
days
me.
are arbitrary.
But it's a day for me where I'm going to focus on me. I don't throw a party. I don't expect people to do shit for my birthday, but I'm at a minimum, I don't work on my birthday. It's at least a day for me to sit around and do fuck all or go do something fun. And I think more people should do that. It's your one day out of the year that could be a mental health day for you to not worry about shit.
I just do stuff on whatever weekend
Yes.
it's closest to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair too, I suppose.
Because then other people can also join you in said things if you want to go.
Yeah, but then you have to deal with other people. Again, I said this is a day for you.
Yeah.
Birthdays are for you.
I can just take any day off.
Yeah. I can just be like, excuse me, I'm sick. And then you just sleep all day. Do that.
Yeah, but it feels different when you're like, I'm sleeping all day for my birthday versus, oh, I'm just sleeping all day. I know.
Feels like you're rejecting.
Whatever. I'm going heli skiing for my birthday.
You are.
Yeah, Mike Jones. He gets it. Especially don't work on your birthday. At a bare minimum, take your fucking birthday off. Don't give your day to the man. Down with the man.
Yep. Burn it all down.
Anyhow, Blood Bowl. Bloody Minute.
Bloody tournament.
Bloody tournament.
So I played 3 games of Blood Bowl. My first 3 games of Blood Bowl since I won the championship for League Season 9, 09. I don't know how it's Season 9. And also my first tournament that I was able to attend all of since, let's say, August 2019, because I had class early on Saturdays, which I do not have this semester. So I was able to not rely on Zach to
Be the odd man out.
be the odd man out / play the first game and hope he did well enough to me have a chance to get a trophy.
Yes.
So it was all on me. This tournament was on Leap Day, and so it was a Leap themed KO Bowl. It was 1.15 million. You could give skills to whoever you wanted, up to 150,000 gold. Couldn't have more than 3 of a single skill, and then doubles cost more. But also 3 unskilled linemen could get Leap, the skill Leap, for free. What Leap is you do a general edge roll. So if you have agility 3, you need a 4+. If you have agility 4, you need a 3+, etc. But you get to move 2 spaces with 2 movement points remaining, at least.
And you can't go for it.
You can't go for it. So you can't, like, if your movement's 6, you can't leap on, like, go for it 7 and 8. It has to be within your base movement. You can always go for it after that, but you have to be on the ground. But you get to leap those 2 spaces for just that roll, and it is unmodified. So if you're leaping into
a cage or
8 people, if it was a cage of 8 people and there was only 1 center square in the middle and you leapt into it, it would be A 4+.
I
if
feel
you
like
had
that'd
agility
be,
3.
I feel like that'd be a bad spot to jump into.
That would absolutely be a very bad spot. But if it's your only chance, I mean, it's a 4+ to on a blitz.
Yeah.
And you need the ball carrier. Do it.
Yeah.
So three of your unskilled linemen, they couldn't have any other skills that you would give them in addition to whatever they had, could get leap. I decided to go lizard men, which were my very successful team from the previous season. I was thinking about orcs, but orcs can't get enough linemen in a tournament of this gold amount to be able to get all 3 free leaps.
Gotcha.
Because usually you only might have 1 or 2 linemen on an orc team because they have 8 positionals, a troll. Yeah, so you get two of them would have leap, and then you'd never use it. Like I didn't on my lizard men the whole tournament. Never used it once.
Like if it could have been on your skinks, maybe.
It could only be on my skinks.
No. I think it can only be on your linemen.
So the lineman lineman is the 0 to 16 positional on your team. Every team has a 0 to 16. You can have 0 of them to 16 of them.
Oh, okay.
Skinks are that for lizard men.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Okay.
So skinks are technically your linemen.
Gotcha.
And your Saurus are your positionals.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my first game was up against Rich. Wasn't in my division last season, but he was the overall tournament champion from last year.
Okay.
Because we're doing a Colorado series of points based on tournaments that you do all across the state, and he was the winner of that last year.
Okay.
He was playing Underworld, which is a mix of Skaven, goblins, and a troll. And he had a star player who had Claw, which I was like, uh-oh. So
I'm in trouble. I'm in danger.
yeah. I'm in danger. He got one good hit on me, and then I made sure that guy was on the ground for the rest of the game. In this tournament, you also got casualty points for the tournament on fouls and crowd surfs. So not just casualties that you caused. So it was a little easier to get casualties and things like that. I ended up bashing him pretty hard because a lot of his guys only had armor 7. Skaven usually only have armor 7. Blitzers only have 8. Goblins only have 7. So I bashed those rats. I almost pitch cleared him in the first half.
Jesus.
But my tournament curse continues. KO after KO after KO after KO. I did 5 KOs in the first half and no casualties, which is good, but it delays my game to where like, oh, I could score and just kind of rack the points up. But if I score, all those KOs have a chance to get back. It's not guys that are permanently off the pitch. So I kind of want to delay it to my 8 because he received, so I can end it on my 8 and he only gets 1 roll for each of those guys until the second half instead of 2 or 3 rolls. So I didn't want to take the risk. Still won 2-0. Got the 3 casualties to have 3 more casualties. Ended up with that first round with probably the highest in that round or very, very close to it. Where I had 75 points or something like that, 78 points. After that, I went into round 2. Round 2, I played against the wonderful Tom Photos.
Oh, yes. Trevor Davis's friend, Tom
Yes.
Photos.
He was playing the odd man out team. He was playing team Jerf, Team Zaff, whatever Ant calls it for the person that's going to make the games even, so Ant can play.
Yeah.
But Tom Photos is also a very good player.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing Wood Elves, and we had a very eventful weather in this tournament, in the games. In my first game against Rich, we had a blizzard. What a blizzard is you can only throw short passes, so basically 6 squares at most. And then if you go for it, you fail on 1 or 2. So everyone's, and not just a 1.
That's a lot worse.
Yes. In Tom Photos' game, weather was nice. But our kickoff events were they weren't like in the middle with like changing weather or rerolls. They were all the crazy shit. And in a tournament like this, no one has fan factor. So your gate is based off just 2d6 and then you compare. I got Fame +2 in that second game.
Oh, damn.
And one of our kickoff events was pitch invasion, where all the crowd rushes to the pitch and attacks all the players.
Yeah.
But what happens is you just go to each player and you roll a d6 plus fame. On a 6, they're stunned. And so he had no additional fame, and I had +2. So he was stunning me on a 6, and I was stunning him on a 4.
That's a lot more.
I stunned 6 of his players on a kickoff that I was kicking to him after he had picked up the ball on a lucky bounce on a 6 and was able to just boom score halfway through the first half. So I was pretty happy about that. Yeah. I was bashing the shit out of him all game, and he has some of the lowest armor in the game besides halflings, and I got 0 casualties until the last turn of the entire game. I was powing him probably 4 times a turn, putting him on the ground. I needed an 8+, 7+ with my mighty blows.
And it was always 2s and 3s.
2s and 3s. Stuns. No KOs, no casualties, nothing shooting off the pitch. I think I got a surf at one point that finally got a guy off. The first guy that got off in the entire game was because he failed a leap and casualtied himself out.
Yep. He was getting tired of you not killing his guys, and he's like, "Here, I'm going to show you how it's done."
Yeah, I was so pissed because he should have been wiped off that field. And this curse was, of course, because at the beginning of the tournament, he was like, "I don't want to play you." Because in the last tournament, I was up against his dwarves and wrecked him. So I ended up with a 2-1 victory on Tom Fotos' team. Not a lot of bonus points in that one because I couldn't get the casualties that I should have had.
Well, and it was partially 2-1 because he got that tripwire.
Yes, it was possibly going to be a tie because he needed 2 go for it's and failed to go for it on the end zone, and he rolled 1, re-roll 1, and boom, tripwire.
Yeah,
got him.
It then bounced like halfway across the field, so right near one of your skinks.
Yeah, so because it went out of bounds, and then you go which direction, and then it goes 2d6, whatever that direction is, as the crowd throws the ball back in.
Yeah.
But ended up with a win on that one. What else? Way tougher if your dice suck. So that put me at the top table for
well, because you were playing on the top table for the second game too, right?
Yes, yeah. I was the first one called with Tom Fotos in that one because Tom Fotos won his first game, lost his second game, and then won his third game.
Right. And
then Rich lost his first game against me and then won his 2 after that. So that sent me to the top table once again, this time against Craig and his Slan. So the thing about Slan in this tournament specifically is because people got free skills, leap, but Slan, every single person already has leap. So Ant allowed 3 of their unskilled linemen to get a free skill of single or doubles. Because leap is usually a mutation, which is doubles, which I think costs 30k. I don't know. I've never played a team with mutations, but I assume their skill costs are about the same. And there's not many things that get mutations on regulars. So indigestion. So I'm playing at the top table against Craig in my last game. He's playing Slan, so he has 3 extra skills beyond the 150k of doubles. And the game starts off going really good for me. I get some casualties right out of the box. I get some of his catchers out who are only strength 2, so my Saurus can hit him with an assist with 3 die. And I'm able to score on defense, and I shut him out points-wise. My dice cool off in a little bit of the second half, but I mean, all of these opponents are difficult. Like, they're all really good players, and I was slogging through this tournament the whole time. Like, I didn't think I made any real mistakes. The dice were going really well. I only had 1 double skull, reroll double skull the whole tournament. I think I only had 1 double skull beyond that. Ended up winning that final game 2-0. Equal casualties, 2-2. We finished on time. And so I go out thinking, like, I have a shot at first place.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I don't. I've had 2 other second place wins in the tournaments, but they're usually like, I'm close to second. I might get a second place trophy.
Right.
And so I'm just kind of hoping for anything. And this one, I'm like, man, I could totally get this. And ended up getting second place on tiebreakers. The Mike with his Dark Elves, who I did not play during the tournament, ended up taking first place.
And that's due to touchdowns, right?
Touchdown differential is the first. He went 8-0, and I went 6-1. He went 4-0 in his last game.
Ouch.
Yes. It's a fair tiebreaker, but Ant posts the overall stats for the tournaments. I had 198 points. He also had 198. I would have won on the second tiebreaker. So if he had ended his game 2-1, it would have tied on that and then gone to casualties, which he went 4-9 on casualties. So he had negative on his casualties. But that's Dark Elves.
Yeah.
But opponent score. I've had multiple people talk to me about this today. My opponent score was 416. So what that is what scores my opponents had at the end of the tournament. And as far as I'm aware, because I texted Ant to see how that exactly worked. So you get 60 points for winning, 30 points for tying, 10 points for losing, and then you get some bonus points in there for having 2 or more touchdowns, 3 or more touchdowns, keeping it close, 3 or more casualties, etc. And those go like 2 to 5 points. My opponents in the tournament got 4th, 5th, and 6th place, which meant I had a very hard schedule with a 416. The higher, it's kind of like the harder your opponents were, or the higher place. So basically all my opponents, their only loss
was to you.
Was to me.
Yeah.
And the guy that won first had a 236. I had 190% more opponent score. Mike is an extremely good player and absolutely deserves first, I want to say first of all. But his schedule was much easier than mine based on that alone.
Yeah.
I had a much more difficult time getting to where I did. And I had looked through some of the other tournament posts, and I don't think I saw a single one over 400. I've only kind of seen the 3s and stuff like that, because you can get like a first round player that may get last place, and like last place scores can be in their 30s. If you lose all 3 games, 10, 20, 30 points, that's all you get.
Right.
The guy that was in the last round got 114. So his 2 other opponents combined had like wow. It's a lot of talking and breathing.
Yeah.
So his like other 2 opponents combined had scored like 60 some each or something like that.
Wow.
So, but the guy that played him at the end has been legendarily one of our longest lose streak players. One of the nicest guys that you could possibly ever play against, Caleb. Won both of his first games, which everyone was like, "Holy shit, yeah!" But unfortunately, that led to
Mike destroyed him.
A 4-0 win for Mike at the end of the tournament.
It was like, oh no, he has to play a good player now. And
his game was done pretty early as well. So, yeah, the wonders of tournament life. I played the game of my life and got second place.
Yep. You got the moral victory.
Yeah, sure.
And second place.
Yeah, that was a hard fought tournament.
Yeah.
That was a struggle the whole time. But it was fun. It was fun being able to finally get like an entire tournament into the game.
Yeah.
Of the game.
Well, congrats on your near first place. Second on the sheets, first in our hearts.
And yeah.
And that it's an impressive opponent score.
Yeah.
That might be a hold a record for a while.
I'm sure that was the hardest you ever had to fight for second place. So
yeah. So yeah, that was the KO Bowl of the year 2020.
Right on.
Yeah.
So I had forgotten about this. I meant to do this during the banter portion. And then I forgot. And then Boyd reminded me in chat that he was promised a new segment for this episode. And so we have a new segment.
Okay.
So you may or may not have heard.
I just want to let you know that Adrian is springing this on us.
Yes,
We
you're
have
completely unprepared.
We have no idea what this is.
Yeah. So as you may or may not have heard, I recently went to Japan.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
And as you may or may not know, Japan is known for ridiculous Kit Kats.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Every state has a different Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be the blind Kit Kat taste challenge.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going to see if Zach and Jeff can identify these 4 weird Kit Kats that we brought back. And then I'm going to run out again because I forgot to grab do one other thing after this to get the taste of various Kit Kats out of your mouths.
Uh-huh.
We have the calorie mates.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So you guys are going to have a calorie mate.
I can be like Metal Gear.
Yeah.
So
So one of them is green tea.
Yes. You know what you know what you want to do? Are you going to tell us what the flavors are, and then we're going to try and guess them?
They're also probably different colors.
Or, well, I mean,
some of them are, but
Yeah.
they're similar colors
Okay.
enough.
or are we just supposed to be like, I think it's this sort of flavor?
That's what I.
Okay,
That's,
all right.
you're
So
gonna-
we know one of them's green tea, but that's all.
Yeah,
I
there's
know.
no way you got out of Japan without
Yeah.
a green tea Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely did get out of Japan without a green tea.
Yeah.
So, and I'm trying not to rip up the bags too much so that I can still show them off like at the end.
Quick, I'm gonna wiki every single flavor just so I know.
I mean,
There's
go
a lot
for
of
it.
them.
Go for it. Yeah, go ahead and try and sift through that list.
All right.
All right. So first up, looks like a normal Kit Kat.
Okay.
Smells like chocolate.
It does.
I'll try not to chew in the mic. Subtle flavor.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Could it be green tea?
No.
No?
I
Minty?
think that green tea ones are green.
Oh. It was a little minty.
I don't think it's that.
I have no idea.
I want to say it's trying to be like a fruit or something like that.
Wow. No clue.
No.
So this one I did first because I don't actually know. It's weird sandwich.
Weird sandwich.
Wait.
So it's just
Let me see that. Is that peanut butter jelly?
it's not peanut butter and jelly. It is definitely not. It's like a meat sandwich.
Oh, is that like a red bean?
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
like the bean
All right,
paste.
I
It's one of their bean
That's-
paste things. Yeah.
Okay. And
Red
those are
bean can be
sweet.
sweeter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. That would make sense.
Okay. So bowl's back, and here comes number 2.
Did you give me a dirty bowl?
No, it's got a stain.
Okay.
From,
Jeff gets the dirty bowl.
from dirt. It's just a dirt stain.
It's a stain. It's a stain from the fact that we've left this in the backyard for a week.
Jester's water dish in the backyard.
Yep.
Okay, this one's green.
Yes, it is.
So it is a 50-50 green.
Okay.
There are
All right.
2 greens and there are 2 not greens.
Mm.
While you mull this one over, I'm going to go get the calorie mate.
Yeah.
Entertain the chat and the audio with your flavor impressions.
I mean, Zach can just cut around this. That's
Yeah.
what I wrote. So
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if I've had the green tea one.
I don't know.
I mean, my gut wants me to say green tea on this one, but I'm not tasting anything that is making me feel otherwise.
All these flavors are pretty subtle.
Yeah.
I'm in for calorie mates.
Did you do you have any guesses?
Green.
I mean,
Tea?
I'm gonna go green. I can't.
It's matcha green tea.
Matcha
Okay.
green tea. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I was telling Jeff, it's like I can't think of anything that would be other than that. So
Earl Grey Kit Kat.
I forgot to hold that one up to the camera to show the color for. So that's my bad. But here comes the second green one.
This one is slightly lighter green.
yep.
My guess is seaweed.
I want to say like lime or something just from the color.
Wasabi.
Wasabi. Yep. Yep, that's exactly what that is.
Got that one real fast. Not a real spicy wasabi.
No.
It's good.
No, there's almost no spice, but it's definitely that flavor.
Yeah.
It's actually, I've done these in my order of least to most favorite.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so you're about to have my most favorite. So you know this one's not going to be awful.
Yeah, it's like if you ever had a chocolate wasabi. I
Yeah.
guess this is what it is.
Yeah.
Wasabi, yogurt covered wasabi peas? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That
I'm-
actually
I'm-
probably pretty close. Yeah. This one, what I would describe as a white chocolate color.
Yeah.
It is not white chocolate flavor. I assure you of that.
Brought white chocolate Kit Kats back from Japan.
Madman.
I have to get the wasabi out first.
That's it. Do you want a calorie mate
No.
in between?
I just have to finish eating it. The chat with the best flavors.
Oh boy.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Oh,
Mike,
that's a different.
Mike Jones called the. Oh God. Mike Jones called the wasabi.
No.
This one's certainly fruity, I think.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
you
God.
have it over there.
I don't know, star fruit?
As soon as you say it, I'm going to be like, yep, that's 100% what it is.
Mochi?
Zach sniffing it like wine.
It's not mochi.
No.
No, not mochi.
Fuck.
Is the word something like mochi?
No.
It is not at all.
It's like grapes. There's like little shelled grapes.
Nope.
No?
Oh, grapes are close.
Yeah.
Grapes is on the right track.
But it has like a shell on the outside of it.
No.
Okay. We put them in a beer once. Aunt put them in a beer once.
Oh. I don't know. What is it? I'm
Now.
Rum raisin.
Rum raisin.
okay.
Okay.
Those are good. I like that one.
Yeah.
I was going way too exotic with it.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Lychee. That's what I was thinking
That
of.
you're thinking lychee? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't lychee flavor.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a little shelled white grape, except bigger.
Yeah, it was rum raisin, and that makes a little bit more sense now. That's not. It's. I take back my comment. I wasn't gonna be like, yeah, that's what it is, but
Ah. It did not survive the airport. Actually, here, give me that little end because I want a little calorie mate since that broke off so nicely.
So these were made famous by Metal Gear Solid 4.
and anime as well.
What's anime? Drier than I would expect.
Very dry. I probably should have gotten you guys water.
Think of the driest brownie you've ever eaten.
Oh boy! Wow, that's
But they have to be loaded with nutrition.
I mean, nutrition, chocolate, same difference.
Empty calories.
tell them what calorie mate is.
So calorie mate
Whoa, that is dry.
is basically it is the perfect little quick and easy to consume snack that has all of your nutritious needs for one meal in a package yay big. So 2 bars of this
These
is
are-
like 600 calories.
This is what UFC fighters use to cut weight, right? 'Cause it-
So we randomly like found them towards the end of our trip. We were in a 7-Eleven where we had started going at the last place we were in Japan. We started going to the 7-Eleven every morning before we jumped on the bus to the resort.
Because international convenience stores are way better.
So
Yeah.
much better. And I had been getting these little like stuffed rice balls, basically, like kind of like sushi. And they
Eat it now while you're talking.
yeah,
no one wants that. And I saw these and I was like, what the fuck? That's awesome. And we looked at them and like, did Google Translate on the back because the entire box is entirely in Japanese. And they're, these little like nutritious, with big air quotes, like snacks, and they're cheap. They're like $2 for a box. And then the box has 2 packets in it. And I think each packet is supposed to be like, a not quite a full meal, but like, on the go. And they're just these little, they end up being these little dry, cakey,
oh, so dry.
things. This one,
Let's go. That's gonna drive me insane. Just the noise of this.
Oh, there's...
Yeah.
oh God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know, just like think of a brown the driest brownie you've ever eaten mixed with chalk to kind of get that extra moisture out of the of the snack.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste bad.
No.
It tastes good.
But if you ever suddenly become allergic to water, this is a great way to save yourself.
Let's say you have like some sort of rabies infection, you become hydrophobic, calorie mate.
Yeah.
Apparently they also make a gel.
They make, so there were 4 of them. There were 4 flavors. We only got to try 3. The first one we tried was like,
There's a maple, I know.
it was like worse. The first one we had was
First
worse.
one was worse. Okay.
It was dry but also bland with a hint, just like somebody held an orange near the factory where they were made.
Just outside. We've got the orange guy outside. Who's the orange guy today?
He was making some zest nearby, and it just sort of the air current brought some of it over. Yeah. I mean, we all know how LaCroix's made, so yeah.
Yes.
Even
Similar process.
Even lighter amount of orange flavor than a LaCroix.
Yeah.
These are the second ones we tried, the chocolate, which are actually, I think, the best. And then I don't know what flavor Megan ended up with for the other ones, because we weren't really picking by flavor because we didn't know what the flavors were. We were picking by color. And turns out chocolate is red. So
Makes sense.
Okay. Was this the chocolate one?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I know there's a maple.
Thus the driest brownie you've ever had in your life.
Yeah.
I at least have a beer to wash mine down with.
Yes.
So that's handy.
Canned dry brownie.
Also not canned.
No, but it can come in a can. Is
Oh,
what he
the
said.
gel stuff.
Block, jelly, and can.
Oh dear. No.
Yeah.
Block
You
is
don't
fine.
have to. You don't have to respond to these things, Adrian. You can just continue to eat that and
Without
then,
talking.
Yeah.
And yes, May, it was onigiri. Thank you. I was drawing a total blank on that. But
Onigiri.
the fact that like 7-Eleven, essentially sushi, like ball of rice stuffed with fish, at a 7-Eleven was an acceptable thing to eat. You know, that's a foreign concept here. I would never eat 7-Eleven sushi in America.
There was an SNL skit about airport sushi.
Yes, there
recently.
was. John Mulaney was back.
Yes.
So
It was good.
It was good.
I'll have to watch it. Our final meal in Japan was airport sushi, and it was delicious.
probably great there.
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Let's say not at,
At
LaGuardia. That skit went places, man.
Yes, it did.
I don't doubt that. All right. Well, I'll be sucking on the remains of the 2 tiny pieces of Calorie Mate that I had for a while now. But I think we're ready to move on to some news and Kickstarters.
Yes, we are. First up in news this week, the big news this week, Plaid Hat Games has broken its relationship from Asmodee because they got acquired by another group.
No, so Colby is he was the lead Plaid Hat person, and he basically sort of bought it back.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you're
They
seeing,
bought their way out.
what
Yeah.
you're seeing about them being acquired by F2Z, that's from a few years ago. F2Z was later bought by Asmodee.
Aha.
So F2Z had bought Plaid Hat and
Yeah.
Z-Man and some other.
No, yeah.
And then Asmodee bought F2Z and all of those with it.
Okay.
And then now Plaid Hat is back on its own separate. From
For
all
the
of
most
that.
part.
Yes.
Well,
sort
I
of.
mean, not all Plaid Hat left, but not all of Plaid Hat's
Things left with
things left with them.
And yes, May is correct. Colby was the founder of Plaid Hat.
Yep.
And so he reached an agreement to split back away from Asmodee. The agreement leaves Asmodee with the rights to Dead of Winter, Raxon, Mice and Mystics, Stuffed Fables, Aftermath, and Battlelands.
I want to say that's most of the games that I've heard that they've made.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, so there were a couple. There was like Rise, Ashes of the Phoenix Morn. They'll still have Summoner Wars, which is like this is getting people excited because they want Summoner Wars again.
Which Asmodee had pretty much just forgotten about.
Because Asmodee likes. Because they sort of did it with Fantasy Flight and some other ones too, of like shedding themselves of the less than super popular things and sort of focusing on what makes them money, right? So, now that Plaid Hat is gone, they, like you said, they kept Dead of Winter, and that went to Fantasy Flight as well as Raxon. So that universe, because they still have Gen 7.
Yes.
And the Crossroads system is still
stayed
there.
with Plaid Hat.
Yes.
Yeah. So Fantasy Flight put out a separate announcement saying like, hey, we now have Dead of Winter and Raxon.
Because Raxon was based in the Dead of Winter universe.
Yeah. Everything's got a universe these days. And then Z-Man had put out a statement talking about how they were getting Mice and Mystics, Stuffed Fables, and Aftermath.
Which is all in the same sort of style universe as well.
But who gets the publishing rights to Seafall? That's what I want to know.
I'm gonna assume they somehow made it to where nobody produces it.
See, I feel like that was one of those things. Like Asmodee was like, "Yeah, you can leave,
but you have
to take Seafall."
All these unsold copies of Seafall.
Yep.
They were at least. I definitely remember there being a publisher for that.
Yep.
Even though there's 6 listed, but that might be international. See, I wonder I wonder if Asmodee will just let those games continue to be published just with a different logo in the corner, or if they're actually going to do anything with that IP that they have now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because Fantasy Flight doesn't have a zombies thing, as far as I'm aware.
I could see them trying to. Well, Fantasy Flight has like a zombie RPG, like The Last Day on Earth.
Not anymore.
Oh, they ended it, yeah, but they did for a while.
But that was like horror movie themed, wasn't it? Last Night on Earth?
Well, some of them were, but there was like a zombie like book.
Yeah.
And there was like an alien attack book, and there was.
Well, Last Night on Earth is a board game.
It is.
Is that the same?
No, that's
Okay.
like Flying Frog games
Okay,
or something
all right.
like that.
Hmm?
I might
The
be
Last Night on Earth board
Yeah.
game is what I was thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's something entirely different.
Yeah.
But
maybe they could have like a better board game.
if they care,
or they just continue to publish this and be like, Dead of Winter just continues to be Dead of Winter.
I could see them going both ways. I could see them wanting to put their own stamp on it and like make it theirs, so that it's not like people are sitting there like, oh, Asmodee's just still making money off Plaid Hat's games.
Yeah.
But I could also see them just making money off of Plaid Hat's old games.
Yes. Absolutely.
So-
Especially with how much they've cut from Fantasy Flight.
Yeah.
I don't think we even talked about Fantasy Flight officially cutting their entire RPG line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They announced that they were cutting staff and stuff like that and thinning down their RPG stuff. And then they announced a couple weeks ago, it's like, nope, RPGs are over. This is the last Age of Rebellion book that's going to be coming out. And then that's it. So,
Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've got to assume that because they kept the couple different things that were all in the same universe, that they're wanting to further expand those.
Because Plaid Hat hasn't. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe some of these things will actually get some movement to their products.
And I wonder if that's part of Plaid Hat wanting to leave. Is they're like, hey, you're not doing anything for any of these games. But then it feels like they gave up all the games that you would want more.
Or they had to.
Well, but at that point, what's the point of leaving?
I don't know.
I mean, I would assume. I think Fantasy, or as I feel like their sort of mantra has been more focus on the couple games that really make us money.
Oh yeah,
and so maybe they have been wanting to make other ones, or it's one of those that, like Bungie went with Microsoft for a while, and then they left, but they left Halo with them. So it's it's a matter of time. Sort of thing.
I mean, Bungie was with Activision for a long time, and now they're on their own.
Yeah.
They bought their company out, just like Plaid Hat.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Maybe there'll be something that'll show up that'll be cool.
Because I haven't been excited about any Plaid Hat stuff in a while, so maybe this will change course for them. Hopefully.
Yeah. Which, along with all of this, there was an announcement of a new Plaid Hat game.
Yes.
Almost,
AKA next up in news.
Almost like that was planned.
Yeah.
What? Craziness. So they announced Forgotten Waters, which will be a Crossroads game that is pirate themed.
Which, once again, Crossroads is the Dead of Winter style game and the Gen 7.
Yeah. Where one of the players to the side of you, I don't remember if it's left or right, draws a card that has like, if this happens during the player's turn, interrupt everything and story.
Yep.
Or if certain character does a certain thing in
or
a
if
certain
character-
location. And sometimes the Crossroads system kind of sucked. But
It was a lot of nope.
Hey!
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
But I like that in their press release they still say, from the makers of Dead of Winter. So they apparently have the rights to still be like, hey, we made that game.
I mean, I don't think anybody could ever take that away from them.
But you're going to be pirates sailing around together while trying to further your own personal stories, kind of like Dead of Winter, but pirates instead of zombies. And then there will be a common goal that you're trying to accomplish. It's going to be designed by Isaac Vega and J. Arthur Ellis, with writing from Mr. Bistro, who I don't know who that is. And you're going to go through multiple different scenarios that you kind of deal with different things. It's a real light press release, and I'm not going to just read it word for word.
But it's coming out early April.
Yep. So it'll be here soon. We'll have more information about it, I'm sure.
And on top of that, this is the last Plaid Hat game that Isaac Vega is doing, because he had just announced that he is also leaving Plaid Hat Games after the departure.
Oh.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
On good terms
yeah.
was the departure. So
Forgotten Waters will also include an interactive app. So there, I don't know. I wonder if the app is going to handle some of that Crossroads stuff.
It does say
somehow.
that it provides immersive scenarios and exciting Crossroads moments without the hassle of page flipping.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
Well, there you go.
they had even made a Crossroads app for Dead of Winter. At one
Yeah,
point.
that's true.
So it's probably something similar.
A sleek, streamlined rule system allows up to 7 players at a time. Wow, I'd missed that when I skimmed this earlier. That's a lot of people to be playing any game, really.
Correct.
We'll see. Forgotten Waters. It's going to be $59.95, and it is available for pre-order now. Pre-order now with that release date of April 10th.
Yep.
So, yeah. Next up on news.
Next up on news, Telestrations has a new version coming called Upside Drawn.
Yeah. So, not a lot of information about this one, but there's enough in this little like image to figure out that it's a team-based version of Telestrations where one person holds a marker, just holds it, tipped down, presumably, and the other player, the teammate, knows what they're trying to draw and moves the piece of drawing tablet paper thing, laminated sheet,
Yes.
around the stationary marker being held by their teammate to begin drawing whatever the card is. And the person holding the marker then has to start guessing what the other person is drawing.
Making them draw.
Yeah, making them draw. If that sounds ridiculous, it's because it is. If that sounds awesome, it's because it might be. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. First team to correctly guess their thing wins. So it's a super simple game that sounds like it has a ton of room for hilarious misinterpretations and hijinks, and just watching somebody try to move a sheet around to draw something,
And then just
while
yelling.
somebody else just holds a marker yelling things.
Yeah. Well, and the other person's just like, lift the fucking marker up. Put it down. Put it down. You're going to do dots. I'm going to move it. And you need to do like a sewing pattern.
Dot. Yeah.
Could be interesting. Doesn't have the ultimate hilarity of just regular Telestrations of
Correct.
passing between 12 people, but
You lose the game of telephone aspect, but
Yes.
you gain...
Oh, I mean, it's basically a different game,
yeah.
but it's still in the vein of Telestrations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should play like 8 players.
Yeah.
I think it does 4 teams of
Yep.
2. So, I'm
It plays up to 6 players, or 6 teams of 2.
6 teams of 2,
Yeah. Sees 4 to 12 players.
but it only
Comes with
contents
4.
are 4 sketchboards.
Oh, maybe it's team based.
Maybe teams of 3.
Maybe.
Like you can maybe do teams of 3 where like there's a
Maybe it's 2 people are holding each corner and moving
all right,
it.
you with the piece of paper, move it that way, and then you start drawing.
you hold the marker, I'll move the sheet. Zach, you guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, because it only comes with 4 markers
Yeah.
too. I don't know. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. I'm sure that this sounds like something that I could see Zach picking up for game night. So especially
2
now that he
teams
has,
just watch.
especially now that he has to jump 2 teams. Hey, you rotate in. Whoever loses, the worst is out.
Yep.
But yeah, that's Telestrations Upside Drawn. Next up on news.
Next up on news, we have another version of Betrayal coming. This one seems interesting-ish. Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo and Scrappy 2.
Where
Yeah.
are you? There's no Scrappy in this. Fuck Scrappy.
Scrappy's the worst. I will
Scooby-Doo,
fight over that.
Betrayal at Mystery Mansion. A Betrayal Scooby-Doo game, which sort of fits with what's happening, except I doubt this will have the horrible, horrible murders and death and darkness.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, that's my biggest on the face value, it seems to fit perfectly.
Yeah.
The wide range of like aged people exploring a house and solving a weird mystery. Like, yeah, that's Scooby-Doo 100%. However, in Betrayal, there's a lot of dying horribly, and I don't remember anyone ever dying in Scooby-Doo.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of mask ripping in this one, and then
See, at the
running
end, you
in
yank
place,
you yank
and
'em out.
then there's going to be lights everywhere.
So where's the threat?
So, I mean, the monster. So,
Yeah.
how the game's going to work is it's just going to have scenarios like Betrayal where there will end up being a traitor, but it's not like Scooby's going to stab Shaggy in the back.
I'm so bummed that that's not the case.
It's so anti-thematic.
You then bring in a monster that you play
Yes.
as the traitor character.
Right.
And everyone else continues to play as the gang.
Yeah.
But is this going to be like Betrayal on the House on the Hill monsters, where
No.
like now Scooby-Doo is like, and the gang
No.
are being attacked by
No.
like meat-eating puppets?
No.
Or is it going to be like, Old Man Wilson's a mean capitalist trying
Yes.
to scare indigenous people off his
Yeah.
land? So
Someone
he can-
found a creature from the Black Lagoon costume and put it on and scaring these kids that are way too high to be in this mansion.
Yes.
So how do they actually scare? I guess they just scare them off, and the game ends with like, you got too scared and ran away instead of solving the mystery.
Yes.
Yeah. Or you're like, I go in here, I go into the kitchen and I make a sandwich that is just way too large that I could not physically eat, and yet somehow I unhinge my
It's a
jaw.
4 foot tall sandwich.
Exactly. And then I just take a
Eating
bite.
one bite.
No, half of it, 2 bites.
One bite goes through the whole thing, but you've still only taken 1 bite worth out of each of these 15 layers of cheese and meat.
Yeah. The consistency of keeping that bite into the same orientation, it doesn't like a.
It defies the laws of Jaws.
Yes.
And how they work in nature. The hinged nature of a jaw. And yeah.
Yep. You are playing with standees instead of minis. So that's
I could kind of see that.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But if there is not Adam West as Batman or Sonny and Cher in this game, I'm out.
Or the Globetrotters.
Or the Globetrotters.
Almost guaranteed. But Globetrotters might be in. Adam West is Batman. That might be a bridge too far.
Maybe Burt Ward is Robin. They've got to be in this.
Even Python jaws don't eat like that, May. They still have a vague hinging motion that don't bite straight down. It's like I don't know, a hydraulic press or something.
Maybe Phyllis Diller.
Everybody has, I'm assuming, Scooby snacks on their little board thing.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's something you can get.
I definitely hope there's something Scooby snack related.
I mean, duh.
Yeah.
One of the item cards is probably a giant sandwich.
Wow, it's short. 3 to 5 players, 25 to 50 minutes.
I'm sure it's kind of a thinned down, kid friendly version. I would
Yeah.
suspect. But
Or they're just lying about the time.
yeah.
Only 28 tiles, so definitely a pared down.
But I would assume, it's basically half the size. 25 new haunts.
Yeah.
So usually Betrayals have 50,
Yeah, I think
or
so.
have. I'd never played the Betrayal at Baldur's Gate or whatever.
Megan, did she actually liked it?
It was after the Witch expansion, which was
Widow's Walk.
Widow's Walk.
Which wasn't good from what I've heard.
No, scenario wise,
It was wildly inconsistent, even by Betrayal standards.
Okay, that seems right.
Yeah, so Scooby-Doo Betrayal will be available May 15th, so just a couple months away. And well, I'm sure hear more about it.
Yeah.
never.
Never.
That
never.
could also happen.
Yeah, that's it for news.
That's all the news. News is done. Moving over to Kickstarters.
First up in Kickstarters, we have Chromatic Dragon Metal Dice. Very well funded, 46,000 of its $15,000 goal, 441 backers, still a little over a week left to go. Its most popular pledge being like $25 for like one D20.
Yep. So, Wes, you're going to want to jump right on this.
Yep.
Because these things are fucking sweet. So, these are metal dice, but not just any metal dice. They're like really lacy, hollow metal dice. They look more like jewelry than dice. In fact, I would be shocked if somebody doesn't eventually turn some of these into jewelry. They have a bunch of different colors.
There might be cheaper jewelry that looks like this, though.
I'm sure there is. That doesn't mean people still won't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got a bunch of different colors and things. The base material is brass, and they're all plated from there. Currently, they've got 4 unlocked. Cerulean, gold, prismatic, and silver. And then they have like little tidbits scattered through here. Like the cerulean was originally supposed to be like a really shiny blue, but then in the manufacturing process, it turned out like this matte color, and they were like, holy fuck, that's so much better.
Yeah.
And it does. It looks great.
Well, and they have listed 4 more colors that are locked behind stretch goals.
Yep.
Onyx, Midnight, Shamrock,
Shamrog.
and Dragon Blood.
Yeah.
Which,
Black, purple, green, and red.
yeah.
And Onyx is real close. It's at 50,000, and they're at 46 right now. Midnight, Shamrock, and Dragon Blood a little bit further away, but they do have a couple of weeks. Shamrock, you seemed a little confused there, Zach. Apparently, again, I was reading through this Kickstarter earlier. The Gaelic pronunciation of Shamrock is closer to like a Shamrock. And so they wanted to keep the familiarity of Shamrock, so they kind of just smashed them together into that weird portmanteau. I think that's the right usage of portmanteau.
Thus was born
I don't know.
Shamrock.
I've always heard portmanteau.
Portmanteau. That's actually definitely the right way to pronounce that word. So, yeah, a little backstory about Shamrock Green. The name Shamrock comes from Irish Simrog, meaning young clover. We wanted to pay homage to Simrog, yet keep the well-known Shamrock that we all know and love.
I would assume it's like
Shamrock.
Shamrog or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not even going to pretend
Irish.
like I understand how Irish is pronounced.
So like I'm reading it as Sean, but with an M.
And that's
Sham.
I feel like that's definitely wrong. There's a funny skit I watched the other day. I think it's an SNL skit where like it's an airliner that they're like, oh, the pilot fucking died or something, and we don't know how to land the plane, and they're like trying to desperately connect to air traffic control, and they get Ireland, and I don't remember what actor they had as the Irish air traffic control guy on the ground trying to tell them how to land, and they were like, oh no, we can't understand you at all, and he's like, oh, you're leaving our airspace, so we're going to transfer you. And they're like, oh, thank God, we'll get somebody better. And he's like, to Wales air traffic control.
No.
I was watching a video of Patrick Stewart speaking in his Yorkshire accent, and it
Oh,
was
dear God.
unintelligible. That's where he's from.
So, anyway, back to chromatic metal dice. They are super, super expensive, but they are super, super nice. It's $99 for a full set of dice.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm curious.
Not including shipping.
Yeah. I'm sort of curious to see how, I'm sure they roll well, right? But I do like that it feels like a unique approach to metal die. It's not just more solid metal die. I like that they are trying to make it their own.
Yeah. The other thing I'm a little concerned about is like looking at some of the images of them, it is hard to tell what numbers are what because the way they made everything so thin and lacy and like artistic.
Well, especially where the numbers are because
there's like a weird dragon design like behind some of the numbers. Some colors seem better than others. Like the cerulean, it looks really cool and I like it. If I was going to get 2 colors, that would be my second choice. Chromatic being my first choice. But some of those images on that one, it's like I legitimately can't tell what some of these numbers are.
Yeah.
Gold looks pretty good. Chromatic even actually is kind of tough to tell sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Silver looks okay, but yeah, they're pretty cool. So if you got a bunch of money, you want to throw at some fancy metal dice, again, Wes, go check that out. Chromatic Dragon metal dice. Next and last up on Kickstarter.
Last up on Kickstarter, we have Public Market. Just overfunded 14,000 of its $8,000 goal, 342 backers, and 2 weeks left to go. Its most popular pledge being $39.
Yeah, so Public Market is a tile laying game where you're going to be fishing for polyomino fish and then placing them onto your board. And it's got some fantastic art by one of the podcast's favorite board game artists, Beth Sobel.
Yeah. Polyominoes, so hot right now.
When I first opened this up and I was like, I scrolled down, I was like, tile laying, blah, 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 blah. Haul in fresh fish represented as polyominoes. I was like, that's the thing right now, isn't it? Fucking polyominoes. But yeah, you're going to pack them into your ice chest, ideally around the crabs and ice cubes that are already there. So Yeah, seems like a fairly simple little game. It's cheap, got good art, and if you're craving more polyomino action, they've got you covered.
It does have a very boring name. I will.
Right?
Yeah.
Public market.
That tells me nothing on it.
Yeah.
You're drafting tiles of fish.
Yes.
I was very confused. I was looking at the polyominoes like they've got here. So if you're watching the stream, you can see it on the image there. They've got them all, and they're fish, right? And they're all kind of lined up. And it looked like, I thought it was just a pile of like blue, green, pink, and yellow polyominoes. And I was like, it's not cool shapes. It's like the blues are 1 square, the greens are 2x1, the pinks are 3x1, the yellows are 4x1.
But
I was like, what the fuck? And I realized that it's groups of them, like grouped together.
I did not realize that at first, too. It does look like a pile, and then you look and you're like, okay.
They're all connected.
No.
You just throw the net in, and that's what you get. Dolphins and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Not a very complicated game. Not a lot to go over there.
Yeah, you bid, you go fishing, you go to the market. That's your 2 actions.
Yeah, you take the fish actions to draft the tiles out of the ocean and put them in your ice chest, and then you go to the market and there's contracts that you're trying to get specific fish. So mix of trying to get the fish you want for the contracts versus the ones that can fit in your ice chest, and go from there. I don't know. Seems interesting. I'd like to try it.
Yeah, I would try it.
I'm not going to jump out to buy it. I do like the art.
No, I think a lot of stuff looks good. It's just that name, man.
I do wish the name was better.
Like naming it after like a fish market or something like that, or like
right.
It does have
even better.
One more interesting mechanic. Whoever was the lowest bidder gets to set where the boat is, because they're in 4 columns of fishing. So the lowest bidder gets to set which. At the end of the round, the lowest bidder will move the boat to a new column, and that will be where players will be fishing in the following round.
Oh, that's cool. So
I missed that.
Nice.
So there is a little bit in there, and it's,
a little bit of catch up.
Yeah.
So if there's something that you don't really want anything in the current one, but you want something in one of the other rows, you just bid low, you take whatever's left, and then you move it to the row you really want, and then bid high.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that actually bringing a little bit of interesting decisions into it, especially if you're in that like, there's something I want in this row, but is it worth it? I don't know. Neato. Public market. So go check it out.
It's a really bad. They have an online site to view the rules, and it is horrible.
Oh no, I missed it. I want to find it.
The rules aren't horrible. The website is horrible.
Yeah. Oh, it's so slow.
Where is it?
It says view rules.
It's got to be below the how to play.
Yes.
Fishing.
It's in rules. Wherever you see
between stretch goals and rules.
There you go. View the rule book.
All right. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Oh no. It's all. Oh no.
But you can download, and it's just in Dropbox.
All right,
and
we're
that
just
is
gonna
significantly
close that.
better way to view the rule
Yes,
book.
the rule book's a lot better that way.
May in the comments. That name's putting me to sleep.
Yep.
It's such a bad name. Like that. It would be a great name for the kind of games I like.
Yeah.
It is a bad name for something that is definitely meant to be a little bit more accessible with great Beth Sobel art.
Exactly.
It's like, I feel like it's a game that would be like the companion game to 4X. Public market.
Especially from a publisher, Talon Strike Studios.
Oh, I feel bad. But kind of not really, because they picked the name, not me.
Who have not made any other games that I've heard of.
But they somehow got Beth Sobel to do their art, so that's a major score.
Yeah. And the game seems pretty all right.
I've heard of Camp Pine Top. I remember us talking about that, I think. But, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so that's it for Kickstarters.
Yep.
All done with that. That brings us over to some listener feedback, starting with emails.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I didn't see any.
That was a hopeful that maybe I'd missed one. Boyd didn't even send one in like halfway through like he occasionally does.
Or Paul's traditional one sentence of emails.
I mean, I haven't seen Paul in chat at all, so I got to assume he's doing other things.
Yeah. Like sleeping.
Maybe. I don't know.
But if you would like to send us anything, it's emails@milehighgameguys.com.
Indeed it is. Anything on BGG, Zach?
Nope.
Cool. Nothing new on Twitter, which we're never on Twitter anymore. We're always in our Slack channel.
Yeah.
So Slack's where it's at now. Everybody has retreated from Twitter to their own respective Slack channels.
Yes.
Yep.
May thinks Boyd claimed he was sending an email.
Well, it's too late now.
Either that or he just, forgot how to send an email.
Or fell asleep before.
Or fell asleep mid email. We're gonna need an email that like halfway through it just becomes all ease.
Yep.
Yeah.
This would probably be a good break to talk about programming notes for episode 185.
Sure would, Jeff. That's a solid plan. So episode 185, 4 weeks from now, Q&As are back.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we did a Q&A. We've done one since we started streaming.
Yes.
And
which was super early.
It was one of our first like big streams. It was also like a very popular stream. It actually went really well. So we're going to do another put to the question. I think this is like put to the question 5.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Sounds about right. So
we would have done it at 180, but we did our year look back
on 175.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things got a
Ish.
little thrown off.
Yeah, and like transition stuff and all that stuff. So we didn't.
And not being able to get more than 2 hosts together on any given Sunday for like a month and a half. You know? Yeah. Things got a little wild there. So we're going to do it. 185 is going to be put to the question 5 and or 6, and or 7. I don't think we have that many. I don't know.
I think it's 5.
Zach, you look like you know.
No, I just know that the Friday of 185 is the 3rd of April. So
is that when you're gone?
Yeah. So we would have to probably record it the
Friday before.
The Friday before.
Okay.
And then release it the next Friday.
Yeah. So it'll be a Friday one.
Yes.
It'll be the Friday before 185. So what would that be?
March 27th.
Friday, March 27th. Book it now. That will be live stream Q&A episode. Maybe some like win, lose banana, something to kind of keep, a little streaming game going on Friday.
The 4th annual Win Lose Banana? 5th annual Win Lose Banana? We didn't do it the first time.
No.
I thought we do that.
We usually do it on the anniversary.
Oh, that's right.
So this will be breaking the annual cycle or something like win, lose banana.
We would never do that.
Okay, so we'll save win, lose. We'll find something similar.
Cycles are sacred, Adrian.
A nice little game we can play as we answer questions on a Q&A stream. Maybe we'll get Megan to pop in if she's off that day to answer, questions about like, hey, Megan, how do you feel about all these random people coming and hanging out in your garage?
And that's just,
you're welcome
once to twice a week.
And then she's just like, I hate it and I don't want it to happen anymore. So
you're welcome because we're not in your basement
we'll
anymore.
just be like, thank you for your time, Megan. Please return to what you were doing beforehand. So yeah, there will be a BGG thread up where you can ask questions, and then we'll start promoting it on our Twitter and Instagram. You can ask us anything. We get really open on some of these. We've had deep conversations about traumas.
We had a voicemail line last time.
We did. The voicemail line has still technically been active the entire time.
Get some spam every once in a while.
Yeah. So I'll have to look up again what that number is because I've forgotten. I know it was something, and it worked out to MHGG.
No idea.
It was a pain in the ass to find. It's like a California number because that was the only way to get MHGG for the last 4. But there's a phone number. You can leave voicemails.
6444.
There you go. 6444.
It's the last 4 digits.
Oh, for MHGG.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to say it's like 722 or something. I don't know.
We're all listing out phone numbers off the top of our head, folks.
Yep.
Sure thing. Did we do that for the Q&A last time, though? I feel like we did that again for the anniversary.
That was for an anniversary.
I was again like, hey, leave a voicemail and we'll add it to the episode, which worked brilliantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have BGG and Live are going to maybe do a Q&A channel on Slack. Set up a separate Q&A channel. Like, hey, you can ask questions. We're going to answer them here. But it's another way to populate questions for the show.
Yes.
So, a few weeks for that.
And then someone puts a question there, and then we reach our 10,000 message limit, and it gets deleted.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't think those are going to last 4 weeks.
No, and they do. It actually does last more than 4 weeks because my mom the other day was like, "Hey, where did you put all your Japan stuff? Like, I thought you mentioned like there was somewhere you were doing all your Japan stuff." I was like, "Yeah, on Slack, but it's probably gone now." And she was like, "Oh, well, that's too bad." And I was like, "Aren't you in the Slack? You could have done that." And she's like, "Yeah." But anyway, long story short, opened it, scrolled, hit the created on January 28th or whatever that I made the channel. So, maybe we'll do the channel like a week before.
Okay.
You know, we don't have to do it now. I mean, we're not going to do it now.
No.
Let's be real. But yeah, Q&A coming up. Longer, other story, short-ish. Not really. Yeah.
Nothing on YouTube.
Yeah, no, none of that. Where the hell has Paulo been?
I don't know.
Paulo's Corner has just pieced out, apparently.
All the videos have been like, he's like afraid of the videos.
I guess. I don't know.
Or we call him out and then he's like, nope, still here.
Or,
and that's
or
it.
I'm missing them, you know. And he's like, I've been making comments for weeks. And then we look and Gmail sorted them into a weird folder or something. I don't know.
It's the
He
international.
started watching the other YouTube videos, and he's like, "Oh, that's what they are. That's what they look like."
Well,
Okay.
he's met me. He knows what I look like.
If he got past Adrian, I mean, we're in the clear.
Rude.
Oh man.
Anyhow, if you want to get a hold of us, there are a bunch of ways to do that. You can send us emails.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can follow all of us on Twitter. I tweet there under @MHGameGuys.
I am a Zach_MHGG.
I am Jeff_MHGG.
We also have our Instagram account @MHGameGuys. We have Facebook.com/MHGameGuys. Our website, milehighgameguys.com, has episode posts and things like that with show notes, links to the news and Kickstarter items we talk about, all of that kind of stuff. It also has links at the bottom of all of those posts to stuff like our BGG guild number 2731, where Zach does weekly episode posts about, you know, what game we're going to stream and things like that. There will also be that Q&A thread over there, hopefully here in the next few days. And there's links to our Slack channel, which is easily one of the best ways to interact with not only us, but a bunch of our awesome fans and supporters who all chit-chat about all kinds of ridiculous things over there. The Slack is awesome.
He gave us a depressing piece of news that Joe Biden is currently the youngest person in the DNC
Presidential race.
Oh, no. I missed that. When did that happen? Oh, no. We're doomed. Yeah, the Slack channel there. And then there's also our Twitch channel that you could potentially be watching right now as we record this. Twitch.tv/MHGameGuys. We do the Wednesday recordings on Sunday nights, live behind the scenes, uncut, unedited. Just watch us go at it. And then we do Friday, mostly live plays, but occasionally things like the Q&A will be a Friday stream. And then every other Tuesday is Mile High Dungeon Delvers. This upcoming Tuesday, yesterday from the podcast release date, Mile High Dungeon Delvers will be streaming. I will actually not be there because my mom's going to be in town. She's taking me out for my birthday because, again, birthdays are awesome. But they are bringing in Leander's roommate, who is apparently does a fair amount of like cross-dressing and some of the cool cross-dressing scenes here in Denver. He's going to be playing the character Ezra in the show, who is a cross-dresser in the show. And I don't know if Leander at all based Ezra off of his roommate, but his roommate will be filling in for me as a guest on the show as our crew heads into the jungles of Vinay for the first time. It's already been established that my bird person, Aethon, is just going to fly up above the trees and like scout and then just drop notes in the form of, I don't know, fucking acorns. And so that's going to explain why he's not on the show.
You're not going to shit eggs on people?
I mean, maybe that. I don't know. I don't know what Leander has planned for how I distribute messages to the party.
It's all
I just shit eggs.
Yeah.
It's all the same hole, man.
Yeah.
Male birds are known for shitting eggs, right? That's how that works.
I'm sure they have cloacas.
Yeah.
Still don't think that knows. Oh,
but it's like a fortune egg.
They've got messages hidden inside. It's just he stores them up his butt.
Sure. Why not? They're like the plastic Easter eggs, just with a message in them.
We're just trying to help.
We're building your character for you.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
It's a service that we offer, so.
It's the Lamentations coming through.
Anyway, those are all the various ways to get a hold of us if you are interested in doing so. But yeah. Thanks everybody for watching on the stream. Thanks everybody for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate all of that. Thanks to our sponsors, Gray Fox Games. Their website is a great way to get a lot of their different games. You can get copies of Reavers, Kickstarters editions. You can get War of the Worlds, The New Wave.
Yes.
Which, we have been informed via the illustrious folks over at BGG that we are dead fucking wrong about our perceived imbalances in that game.
Yes.
You can also pre-order some of their more recent Kickstarters, like Tortuga 21.99 and some of those things. So go check them out, grayfoxgames.com, to pre-order all of their games. And I'm excited to hear what their new Kickstarter that they're starting to tease is going to be.
Some Tsukiyumi stuff is coming in soon, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking about that recently. I think it was...
Someone on Slack.
I think it was Eric.
Yeah.
No, not Eric. I don't know. Somebody on Slack was asking. They'd listened to that episode recently. And
Yes.
they're like, hey, do y'all still play that? And sadly, we haven't played it in a while.
Yeah, it's a little long
Yeah.
and a little big.
But we do like it, and I'm excited to, for maybe new stuff.
Yeah, we could stream it sometime.
Yeah.
But it'd be hard with the standees.
We might be able to figure something out. Might have to play around with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, grayfoxgames.com, website of our sponsor, to check out all of their different things that you can either order now and or pre-order some of their Kickstarters that have wrapped up. Jeff, do you have a prepared statement?
Of course. Gray Fox Games. Quality games cleverly crafted. Also, I was taken from the battle, neither truly alive nor truly dead, an undying shadow in a world of lights. Now, in front of you, I can finally die.
Have you not done that one before?
I don't know.
I feel like I've heard the I could finally die from you before.
No,
It's
I mean,
probably
that's just what Jeff says a lot.
It's actually what he said as he was leaving the mountain the last time he went snowboarding. I can finally die. As they were removing his snowboard boot in the hospital.
Oh, kill me.
But yeah, that wraps up the episode. Thanks everybody for listening. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm Bridesmaid Jeff.
Boy.
Bye.
Bye.
Where we all
Bring something
to the table.
Pull up a chair
At punchboardmedia.com.